Hey all, welcome to ShareTrack. This is Raj here. Today I want to talk to you about Poseida Therapeutics, which seems to be a promising company. I'm doing this video because one of our subscribers, Sean, bought this company to my notice. This seems to be a fairly good company, and I think we need to have this on our watch list going forward. So thanks, Sean, for bringing this to my attention. So let's get started with this video. Welcome back, friends. Posieda Therapeutics is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company. It utilizes genome engineering capabilities to develop targeted therapeutics for patients with high unmet medical needs. The company develops a pipeline of autologous and allogeneic chimeric antigen receptor T cells or CAR T product candidates, focusing on the treatment of hematological malignancies and solid tumors. Poseida Therapeutics was founded in 2014 by Eric Ostertag, the guy that you see up here, and the company is headquartered in San Diego, California. Before the IPO, the company had 8 rounds of fundraising, and it raised a total of $410.5 million. And the lead investors in those rounds included Schonfeld Strategic Advisors, Fidelity Management and Research Company, Novartis, and California Institute of Regenerative Medicine. And subsequently, this company held an IPO on 9th of July 2020, in which it raised a total of around $224 million. So that's the backdrop of this company, how it got formed, where it got its funding, and the IPO date. The company did have some setbacks from then onwards. For instance, around August 2020, a hold was put on its phase 1 test for PPSMA 101, which targets metastatic prostate cancer. And it came after a patient died of liver failure in the study in which the therapy was suspected to be a cause. However, within a few months, FDA lifted the partial hold, and in November 2020, the hold was lifted, and Poseida was allowed to continue with the study. However, I would like to point out that this particular company has got great collaboration. One of the collaborations is with Takeda, and the other with Roche. Both are big pharmaceutical names, so it has got great company. However, in today's presentation, I'm going to focus more on the Roche collaboration, which is more recent, and we'll have more videos on this company later on. At that point of time, I plan to cover Takeda. So that said, Poseida snagged a deal with Roche in August 2022 for allogeneic CAR T cell therapies for hematologic malignancies. Under the terms of the agreement, Roche will receive from Poseida either exclusive rights or options to develop and commercialize a number of allogeneic CAR T programs in Poseida's portfolio that are directed to hematologic malignancies. Building on complementary expertise and capabilities, both the parties will also collaborate in a research program to create and develop next generation features and improve and make improvements for allogeneic CAR T therapies, make refinements and take it to the next generation, from which they could jointly develop additional allogeneic CAR T product candidates directed to existing and new hematologic targets. Poseida will be involved in the front end, developing the therapy and conducting the phase 1 studies, and manufacture the clinical materials before transitioning the program to Roche for further development and commercialization. Roche will be solely responsible for the late-stage clinical development and global commercialization of all products that are subject to the collaboration. In consideration of this, Poseida will receive $110 million upfront and continue to receive up to $110 million in near-term milestones and other payments in the next several years. In addition, Poseida is eligible to receive research, development, launch, and net sales milestone and other payments potentially summing up to around $6 billion in aggregate future revenues, as well as tied net sales royalties into low double digits across multiple programs. Personally, I think that this collaboration on top of the Takeda collaboration will be a foundation of value addition when their therapies, which are currently in clinical trials, start getting approved by FDA. And also, I think that there is a risk distribution for all the therapies with the big pharma. That's also another big positive. Now let's take a look at their pipeline and current developments in clinical trials. But first, let me highlight that this company is both a platform and a therapy company. We have not heard much about the company's platform so far, because at least I have not heard much about it, because I didn't know about this company, first of all, until Sean brought this to my notice. And secondly, since I didn't know about this company, I didn't know that they had platforms. This is more like Beam. And for instance, unlike other companies in the gene edited CAR-T space that are predominantly using CRISPR-Cas9 for gene editing, Poseida's unique approach lies in the combination of its proprietary piggy bank DNA modification system and the hybrid Cas-Clover site-specific gene editing system that offers increased precision over conventional CRISPR-Cas editing. Let's first start with their platform page and then go to their pipeline section. Well, friends, here we are in the platform page of Poseida Therapeutics. And if you can see this screen out here, they have gene insertion called piggyback, which is again a registered trademark. I think they would have patents on this. Gene editing, Cas-Clover, this is again another trademark, and gene delivery, nanoparticle, AAV. So they are covering all the bases out here. And if you look at gene insertion, gene editing, and gene delivery as a platform, they have a powerful platform to enable broad and compelling therapeutic innovation. And in terms of gene delivery, they have got nanoparticle-based RNA delivery. In terms of gene editing, they have ex vivo gene therapy, in vivo, liver-directed gene therapy, nanoparticle-based products. Of course, they have got gene delivery, which is based on both AAV as well as nanoparticles. But I think they're focusing more on nanoparticles because many companies are moving away from AAV and lentivirus because of immune concerns. And there are a few other complications out there. So this is again a positive. And in terms of cell therapy, they've got allogeneic and autologous CAR-T therapy for oncology, and also they have HSCs for other cell types. So this company has got a platform that could give them revenue going forward. And if we look at their pipeline, we can see that they have at least 3 therapies which are in phase 1 of clinical trial with FDA. The first one is PMUC1C allogenic therapy. And then the second one is PSMA 101 allogenic therapy, and autologous therapy, because I think they are trying to phase away the autologous therapy. That's my understanding after looking at most of the details in this company. So I suppose that this will be their last autologous therapy, or maybe they'll write it off. I don't know. But having advanced in phase 1, I think they should probably take it to the end. I'll cover this later on in my subsequent videos, but right now I want to keep this video short, so let us march ahead quickly. The other therapy in phase 1 clinical trials is allogenic BCMA targeted therapy for multiple myeloma. It's I think this is a CAR-T therapy out here. And there are at least there is one candidate which is in enabling stage, which is the PCD19CD20 allogenic therapy for B-cell malignancies. And then we have 4 therapies which are in preclinical stage, which at least one of which is expected to be enabled in 2023. So that's the lay of the land. And if you see on the right side here, Poseida has collaboration with Roche for these 4 therapies at the bottom: multiple myeloma, B-cell, and hematological malignancies, whereas it has got its own wholly owned therapies, which are these 4 therapies up here for solid tumor. So that's the general layout for CAR-T for oncology. And then they have the gene therapy section of their pipeline, where they have got 2 therapies in the preclinical stage, and they have 3 therapies out here which are in collaboration with Takeda, and they have 2 of their own therapies which are for ornithine or OTC deficiency and rare liver disease. These are the 2 areas that they are targeting with their own therapies, whereas when it comes to the collaboration with Roche, they are targeting hemophilia A, liver-directed, and HSC-directed undisclosed programs. So that's what the pipeline of this company looks like. And I'm thinking that that going forward, given the fact that they have collaboration with Roche and they have also got collaboration with Takeda, so at the very least, they would have some cash runway to continue with the collaboration targets, because they would be getting revenue from the collaborators, Takeda and Roche, to continue with those therapies. So the cash flow will already be there. But on the flip side, it could also mean that their own programs could face a lot of stress if they run short of cash, because the companies like Roche and Takeda, who are paying for joint development, would insist on progress on the joint collaboration projects as opposed to Poseida owned projects. Therefore, the risk of Poseida owned project being slow moving as compared to the fast moving Roche and Takeda projects is a bit higher, in my personal opinion. Don't hold me to that. But that's what generally happens with companies which have their own therapies, 100% fully owned therapies in progress, side by side, along with collaboration therapies, where the collaborator is paying them based on milestones. So in order to, when the cash crunch comes in, these companies will tend to put more weight towards collaboration-oriented therapies, because they are bound by agreement and milestones, and that's the only way they can get paid. So I think that overall this company has lined up really good alliances. So they should be pretty good going forward. Next, let us take a look at the price action on our TradingView platform before we do anything else. Here we are on the TradingView platform looking into PSTX, which is the ticker symbol for Posieda Therapeutics. And you can see, first off, let me just zoom out and I'll show you that, since the launch, I think they got around $16 per share, I think, on the IPO. I can't be sure, but it's somewhere in that vicinity. Since then, they reached a peak of somewhere around $17.61. And since then, they have been dropping like most of our genomic companies. And they had dropped all the way down to somewhere around $2.43 on 2nd of August 2022, which is when the Roche deal was announced. And as soon as the Roche deal was announced on 3rd, the share spiked all the way to the very peak of $5.55, and then it settled back to close somewhere around $4.52. Since then, what we have been doing is we have been consolidating. And I suspect that as the time goes by, this consolidation is going to build a base, and then we'll move up from here, because the fundamentals of this company look pretty good to me, and they are on the right track. And especially, they are not a regular genomic company, in my opinion, because they own platforms as well. So that has got to add value, because they could license those platforms, and that could also generate revenues, which will be ongoing. So with that said, I think we need to look at a little bit of technical analysis out here. Their MACD is bearish, but tending towards the signal line, ready to cross over to the bullish side. The momentum is also above 50%. So I think it's on an upward swing at this point of time. And if I was to put a line of resistance out here, I think this is where I would put the first line of resistance, approximately. I'm going to make this line a bit thick so that you guys can see it on a smaller device. And I would draw a support somewhere out here. This would be the first level of support, in my opinion. A rough drawing of a support out here. And that support is going to be very strong, because it's going to be associated with the 50-day simple moving average, which is this orange line sitting at somewhere around $3.67, and the horizontal line out here at 3.64. So the window between 3.67 and 3.64 is likely to be a good first level of support. And the next support that we can potentially expect would be somewhere out here, and this could potentially give another support. I also see one more opportunity of drawing a trend line, which would potentially show a bullish channel. So I'm going to do that before I leave this page. Let me pull this out. Mark this as green color to show that this is a support. So this could tend to be a support, and I could also venture further to draw a line of resistance and mark a bull channel. Now this bull channel out here may or may not materialize, but this is a placeholder for me right now to visualize where potentially this share could move. So we have a good consolidation out here. We now need to break through this resistance of 4.43, after which this will be our next resistance, the diagonal line of resistance for the bull channel. And that's my expectations. May or may not happen, but that's what technical analysis is all about, trying to find the probability. So with that said, I would now like to look at the financials. Revenues were $2.7 million for the second quarter ended June 30, 2022, and $4.1 million for the 6 months ended June 30, 2022, consisting of revenues earned from the collaboration and license agreement with Takeda, that the company entered into in the fourth quarter of 2021. This does not include any Roche revenue because this was the second quarter report that I'm referencing to. So all the numbers come from the second quarter earnings. Compared to no earnings, no revenues for the same period in 2021, this is a very good performance in my opinion. Soon the revenue from Roche will be added to this. So going forward, the cash position seems healthy, and also the risk of therapy development is now shared at a very high level when you look at it. But then when you look at the cash burn, I think the company will run out of cash somewhere around 2024 or 2025. But there will be ongoing revenue coming from Takeda and Roche for all those collaboration-oriented programs. The twist in this particular company is that most of the genomic companies that we see which enter into a collaboration with big pharma, they are responsible for developing the therapy right from a preclinical stage all the way to FDA approval, and then in the commercialization is where the partner big pharma comes in. But in this case, what we have is that Roche will take over after phase 1 clinical trial is cleared. So there's a split in responsibility. So the revenue that comes from the collaboration is going to be graded down, and it will be in a diminishing order, and then it will start spiking up again when the product is commercialized by the partner and it goes into the market. Now that's the place where Roche probably doesn't have, that's the place where Poseida probably doesn't have as much control over Roche on the space at which they would develop the therapy and bring it to the market and commercialize and start getting the royalty payments there. So that's my initial thoughts. I have not read the agreement in detail, but this is a thought that I have. I'll be doing more research on this company, and I'll come back to you with more videos in which the subject matter could include these things that I'm talking about right now. The company seems to be moving away from autologous therapies and into allogenic therapies, and this is reflected in their Q2 2022 earnings call transcripts. For the 6 months ended June 30, 2022, research and development expenses were $83.9 million compared to $65.1 million for the same period in 2021. The company said that the increase was primarily due to the contract termination to reduce the company's autologous manufacturing footprint, costs related to its clinical stage programs from an increase in the number of ongoing clinical trials in its pipeline, and personnel expenses required to support these efforts. And this was offset by the wind down of the company's BCMA 101 autologous program. So that's where I was remarking in the pipeline, if you recollect, there was a BCMA 101 autologous program, the only autologous program in the pipeline. I think the cost associated with winding it down. I think the pipeline page has not been updated. We may see updates in the future when we look at it. Net loss, according to the earnings report, was at 43 million and 101 million for the 3 and 6 months ended June 30, 2022, respectively, compared to net loss of 45.7 million and 84 million for the 3 and 6 month period ended June 30, 2021, respectively. So the net loss has reduced in the 6 month period. That's a positive for us. Now let's come to the most interesting part, cash. As of June 30, 2022, cash and cash equivalents of the company was at $142.6 million, which excluded approximately $75.3 million of the net proceeds from the underwritten public offering of Poseida that was done in August 2022, and $110 million of the upfront payment that the company received from Roche, which is subject to HSR Act clearance. And it expects to receive all this in 2022. So we will see that in the Q4 earnings when it comes out at the latest, or we could see it in the Q3 earnings. So there's both possibilities out there. Poseida expects that its cash and cash equivalents and short-term investment, together with the expected upfront and near-term fees and milestones from other payments that Roche will provide, and proceeds from its recent public offering, will be sufficient to fund the operations into at least mid-2024. But I think that good things are in store for this company, and it will be definitely able to be a viable ongoing concern. They may have more collaborations, and they may have some therapies which will get into commercialization by mid-2024. That's my hope. And my friends, that brings me to an end of this video. So I would like to conclude by saying that, in my opinion, this company is a decent investment at this point of time. And we can look at the investment in, sorry to use the term investment, I would say this company is in a position to attract our interest, to look at it in terms of trading and investment. So trading in the sense that we can look at their technical analysis patterns and look at swing trading opportunity because they were consolidating in a band. So I don't know how long they will continue the consolidation. But if the consolidation is anything, then we can see a top and bottom band, and we can do purchases closer to the bottom and expect to sell closer to the top. That will be the swing trading options out there that are available. And then also you can do calls by buying closer to the bottom of the band and selling calls at the top of the band and holding on to the share and just using covered calls to make money. So that's another option available for you. And apart from that, if you have confidence in this company long term, then you can definitely buy at the bottom and start dollar cost averaging if it falls below that. So that's what I am thinking are the options that are available with this particular company. So my friends, that brings me to an end of this video. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please do not hesitate to press a like out there because it helps the channel. And if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing. We come up with very interesting content. I also respond to subscribers' requests and come out with additional videos like this video, which was requested by Sean. So Sean, I hope you like this video. Please put your comments below. And if I have missed out something that you think I should have covered, please put it in the comments and I'll make sure that I cover it in the next video that I make on Poseida. That said, my friends, I would like to say bye. Have a great day and a great weekend. Bye for now.